Man, I cannot wait to play some amazing Roblox games. Wow, look at all of these games. These are so diverse, I guess. Alright, so there's Labubu Clicker, there's Tung Tung Tower, but man, I just wish there was a game that could really take me somewhere. If only there was a good game that could just bring me to a world where I could do anything that I imagined.
Hey friend, have you heard the game?
Forsaken. Alright, Forsaken is an asymmetrical horror game that revolves mainly around old Roblox media, combined with their own characters, which is incorporated into either survivors or the killers. So far, the roster for the survivors includes Builderman, Noob, 007 and 7, Taff, Chance, Guest1337, Shedletsky, Dusakar, Elliot, and Two Time. And then, for the killers, it is 1x1x1x1, John Doe, Cool Kid, Slasher, and Noli. But the main thing about all these characters is not that they were just dropped into Forsaken. It's that they were dropped into Forsaken with backstories! But I'll get into that later, because for now, I will explain how Forsaken works for anyone who hasn't played it. Okay, since we have all the survivor names out of the way, I can now explain the categories between them. Those being Survivalist, Sentinels, and Supports. Now you may be wondering what survivors go under which categories, and the objective each category is meant to do, which I will explain now. The Survivalist category consists of Noob and 007 and 7, the background gameplay being 007 and 7. The main goal of Survivalists is to help themselves since the abilities they have contribute to that. They are mainly played by wasting the killer's time and taking time down by doing generators. Survivalists can be helpful sometimes, but most of the time I think your team would appreciate if you chose someone else. Though, a pro of being a survivalist on the other hand is usually the killer won't come for you unless you really get in their way.
Dude, I warned you. I said I was gonna do that if you did that again.
Now we will talk about the Holy Grail, aka Sentinels. These guys were a gift from the heavens above themselves, and are mainly thought of the best category, or at least in my eyes. The Sentinel category consists of Guest1337, Shedletsky, Chance, and Two Time. The background being Guest1337. Unlike Survivalists, the main goal of Sentinels is to help their teammates, with the exception of helping themselves when needed. I will now be going into the basics of how all of these survivors are played. Shedletsky is played by using a sword to stun the killer and heal himself with his chicken. Guest is played by blocking an attack and punching the killer and using charge to momentarily stop the killer and boost him back. Chance is played by flipping a coin that either gives him weakness or a charge to his gun to shoot the killer while being able to re-roll his health and hotfix to get rid of that weakness. And Two Time is played by using a dagger to stab the killer that can stun while letting them build a bar that it will eventually let them. Now keep the whole entire respawn thing for Two Time in mind because it will come in handy later. But I think we can all agree that Sentinels are the best characters to play, am I right guys? But now for our last section, we get into the supports.
What are you doing over there? I'm just wondering. What are you doing?
The support category consists of Dusakar, Taff, Builderman, and Elliot. Honestly, I don't really think Builderman should be here. It's more like he just got left out of every other group, so they just put him here. But with that out of the way, these guys are meant to obviously help their teammates in chases or just about whenever while taking time down by doing generators like Survivalists. Dusakar can slow the killer or speed up survivors while being able to shield survivors for about 5 seconds. Elliot has a speed boost and throws a pizza that heals people. Taff places tripwires to slow the killer and places subspaces that makes the killer's screen go weird. And Builderman places stupid turrets and dispensers.
This is a load of barnacles.
I don't really have a lot to say about these guys besides that they are at least better than Survivalists. But one thing is that you do see a little more Survivalists than supports because of targeting. Targeting is when a killer sees someone they don't want in the game and will go for them out of anybody else. I don't really think targeting is like a real thing and is usually just a word that is used to cover up someone's skill issue. Unless you get chased for 3 minutes, then no dude, you didn't get targeted, they just killed you because they saw you first. You know, I always think of it as like, don't kill that Elliot unless they give you a reason to. But really this part has just been like my thoughts, and it is now time for the next section, which is the killers.
Hey, twin.
What are you doing over there?
This part is pretty self-explanatory. The main goal of the killers is to you know, kill people.
Ow! That hurts. My God, is that what I've been doing to people? I belong here.
I don't think I will be diving a whole lot into this category because there isn't really much to talk about for the killers. Slasher is what one would say as a targeting killer. With only close range moves, your playing style would work better with going for one person at a time. John Doe is supposed to be played as a trapper killer with his spikes and digital footprints. He has been nerfed heavily, but I would say that he's still good. Cool Kid is what I call a combo killer because all of your moves can contribute to the other, landing such as pizza minions, slowing someone and allowing easy access for a corrupt nature, and then you can top it off with like a walk speed. 1x1x1x1 is all projectiles and is just the most busted killer with being able to spawn minions of people that he killed and gain speed from them. It's basically impossible to win against 1x1x1x1 in LMS. And Noli is a trickster style killer. He is best played by being unpredictable and making survivors question their surroundings. I would say he's the most fun killer to play out of the bunch. And with that concludes the gameplay section. For this next part, think of it as an interlude of some sorts, a separation between the actual Forsaken game and the community. I will now be interviewing 3 of my friends who have played Forsaken and are well aware of the community and the game itself. I will be gaining their opinions on the game, community, and what they would do if they owned Forsaken. These 3 people are Sephiroth_0, H5 and Ghostified. Let's go ahead and start with Sephiroth_0. Hello, Sephiroth_0.
Hey,
Before we start this, is there any other name that I could call you by that you would like more?
you could just call me Jaden, that's fine.
Okay. So, Jaden, you know about the game Forsaken. We played it together. We've talked about it. You like it, do you?
Yeah, I do. Play it on a kind of a daily basis, in my free time.
Okay. I'm going to be asking you a few questions about Forsaken regarding the actual game and the community.
Okay.
So, first question. How do you feel about how Forsaken is right now?
It's maybe a bit too much with the nerfs on the survivors. Like, 2 times, he was a good sentinel, pretty good with the backstabs. And now he can barely hit me. Maybe they should, bring back his hitbox.
Okay. Okay. Now, no longer on the game topic. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
The community. How do you feel about the community?
To be honest, not like to offend anyone. It's very flawed. They're very sensitive to say the least. They made the laughing emote and the the camera emote uncancelable because they said it was, and I quote, toxic. Even though the developers knew it was kind of the whole idea that it was made like that.
Okay. Okay. Now for the last question.
Huh?
If you were to make one change to Forsaken, what would it be?
Good question. Maybe just more balances and kind of buff 2 times hitbox. I feel like the nerf was unnecessary.
Is that all?
Yep.
Alright. Thank you for joining me, Jaden.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Sephiroth_0. He made some strange points, to say the least. And we will now move on to the interview with H5 Hello, H5
Hi! I'm H5
So, you know about the game Forsaken. We played it together. We've talked about it together.
Yeah. I play a game on a daily basis. You're just
Okay.
like Jaden.
I'm going to be asking you a few questions now involving the game.
Hit me.
Okay. Question number 1. How do you feel about the state Forsaken is in right now?
The game. Game's some butt right now, I'm gonna be honest. the devs kind of the devs got all that. He got me, and then the community.
I haven't asked about the community yet.
Oh,
All right. For the second question, how do you feel about the community?
really? Are we serious?
Yep.
The community. I mean, you can search up like Forsaken on TikTok, and then you see like Blue Dude and like Cool Kid shipping. Nah, I feel like it's a little self-explanatory.
Okay. Now, put this into perspective. You own Forsaken. You have the community as it is now. What is one thing you would change in the game?
I'm firing everyone, and I'm making a game.
What is one thing you would change in the game?
That I would make. I would change. I would make it so that all the fun would go to me.
I'm ending this interview. Well, at least H5 made a little bit better points than Sephiroth_0. There is one image that H5 would like me to show you guys. If anybody knows what this means, please tell me, because I don't really understand it. We will now be getting into the interview with Ghostified. Hello, Ghostified.
Hey man, what's up?
So, I'm going to be interviewing you about the game Forsaken. I know we played it together, we talked about it, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions.
Alright, hit me with them.
Alright. Question number 1. What is your opinion on the state that Forsaken is in right now?
I don't think it's like the greatest it could be in, but I can still have fun in it and enjoy it.
Okay. Now for question number 2. What is your opinion on the community that Forsaken has right now?
They're pretty insufferable. I don't like them.
Any certain critiques?
I think they're just really annoying sometimes. I haven't really seen like a lot good come from them.
Okay. Now put this into perspective. You own Forsaken, and you still have the community that is there now. What is one thing that you would change to the game?
Changes I'd make? I'd nerf 1x to the ground, and I'd crack Party Noob.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all, bro.
Okay. Thanks for joining me today, Ghost. We now have all 3 parts of the interview section done. It's now time to talk about the reason Forsaken gets such a bad reputation, which is Act 2. I'll be giving some examples on why Forsaken is hated on. Number 1, most obviously being the community. Now, before I get started on this topic, I have about 2 things to lay down. Yes, this will involve drama, meaning stuff like skins being removed from the game, or people canceling collabs. And no, there will be no soul-driven love drama talk, as for that does not relate to the community topic. Now, for the first point, I'm going to be making a little comparison, this being about Pillar Chase 2 and Forsaken. Now, I will not be comparing these 2 game-wise, as they are both very good games that follow the same style. But, I will be comparing these 2 community-wise. When you search up Pillar Chase 2 on TikTok, you get normal videos, usually of gameplay or leaks. But when you search up Forsaken on TikTok, you get videos of stuff such as pro ship content or sexualization of characters. Now, this is just one flaw in the Forsaken community. Remember earlier when I said the characters were dropped into Forsaken with backstories? This plays a major part. When Forsaken was being created, during the process of creating lore, they decided to make Cool Kid a 10-year-old. Can you see where this is going? This actively lets people create pro-ship content of characters such as Cool Kid, and this happens a lot. Spreading this type of stuff about a game directed primarily to children can cause kids to think this type of stuff is normal. But oh, it doesn't stop there. 2 times a survivor in Forsaken with the backstory involving a cult known as Spawnism. In this said cult, 2 times has to kill their partner, Azure, to gain a second life. This so-called cult ends up driving them insane to where they are now. Now, it should be pretty easy to think of what happens next. It came with people making up lies about it being a real religion, with examples like this and this. But Spawnism doesn't stop here, because with gullible kids on the internet, you have sick people just waiting for them to fall into their trap. These sick people play as Spawnism prophets or something, saying they can grant you a second life if you do some twisted acts that I cannot discuss. It is really sad to see people genuinely fall for this, and if you believe in Spawnism, it is never too late to get help. Thankfully, most spawners and stuff has died down, so hopefully nobody will fall for it. Now, as if Pro Ship wasn't a bad look on the community already, this is just the icing on the cake. I think it's cool to make up lore for your own characters, but changing the ages on actual real people is just strange. I thought Two Time's backstory was awesome, with it being like Two Time is in a cult with their lover. They kill their lover and it drives them insane, but it was in order to get their second life, which was ruined by the community side. But then you have stuff like 007 and 7 is enjoying his life when Cool Kid is left on his doorstep and grows out to be 10 years old and is forsaken, which is ruined by the community. But then again, it could be so easily avoided if he was just a normal adult hacker and not a minor. It's not really Forsaken's fault that this happens, but more of the group that they attract. Another point of the Forsaken community ruining things has to do with the game Frozen Soul, or Dream Game. In the early days of Forsaken's release, Dream Game was added by turning their characters into skins. Frozen Soul is a game where you explore different places, or better known as dreams. My knowledge on Frozen Soul is very limited, so I may not explain it well. You play as Nakshatra, and you are meant to explore while gaining studs, and being able to do different things to unlock more places. With your studs, you can buy things from a shopkeeper named Yunoya, who pops up quite often. But collecting studs can come at a cost, or when you go into debt, you are hunted by the Mafia. These three characters that I have shown you now are the characters that were implemented as skins in Forsaken. Nakshatra, a skin for Shedletsky, Yunoya, a skin for Elliot, and Mafioso, a skin for Cool Kid. The problem being here is that the creator of Frozen Soul did not want any sexualization of their characters. But with the Forsaken community, you already know they didn't follow that. Almost instantly, there was suggestive content of the characters being produced. This made the Frozen Soul owner ask to have the stuff be pulled from the game. The Forsaken dev team pulled both Nakshatra and Yunoya, but kept Mafioso and just gave him a redesign. It was really such a bummer to see stuff be removed because of the community yet again, especially since Nakshatra and Mafioso had a banger for an LMS. Such a good collab gone to waste. Hasn't been the only time good collabs have gone to waste. I won't be getting heavily into the drama, but Soul Driven Love, otherwise known as the past owner Forsaken, was a very bad person. This made such good collabs get pulled, like Eyes of Face Lols, or Seal Directory, and In Plain Sight 2. I still want that Noli skin, bro! But I think they're considering adding these back since Soul Driven Love isn't owner anymore, so that's awesome. But we still have one more thing to reach before we get to the end, which is the Forsaken dev team. A lot of people say these guys are lazy individuals who work on skins more than the game, which I would say is somewhat true. Only bad thing about these guys is how Noli was in progress for like 7 months, and that they also get into drama once in a while, but I think it's well known that Forsaken is just a magnet to drama now. But with all that aside, it is now time for the question. Throughout this 20 minutes, I have showed gameplay of Forsaken, asked friends their opinions on Forsaken, and talked about the community of Forsaken. All of this leading up to the question of, does Forsaken deserve the hate that it gets? My answer being to this is kind of. Yes, it is not a very clear answer, but it means that yes, it does deserve the hate, and no, it doesn't. I see many people hate on Forsaken, which gives it a very bad first impression on others. The problem nowadays is people being too ignorant to try new things, or to at least find out what they are hating on before they actually hate on it. I see people all the time in comment sections talking about some Forsaken is bad, don't play it, only stupid people play Forsaken, which in reality just isn't true. It's a big trend now to just really hate on things that you either don't like or are doing something that is different. Forsaken does not deserve the hate they receive when it comes to actual gameplay, but it does deserve the hate it receives when it comes to the community. But as I said, with people being ignorant to playing the game, the only thing they see about Forsaken is the bad side. If you have not played Forsaken already, I would suggest to play it, because it is really not as bad as it seems. Spawnism, pro ships, sexualization of characters make Forsaken seem like it's an actual horrible game, but when you play the game seriously, it has good gameplay, good characters, and can just be fun. And yes, everyone has their different views on Forsaken. Some may argue that the gameplay is boring, which everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Matter of fact, I used to dislike Forsaken until March, the main part being that I only saw the bad side. But if you are just aimlessly hating on Forsaken because of the people who like it, maybe you should think of giving it the benefit of the doubt for once, and actually seeing what it's about. Because maybe you will play it and realize that it actually isn't that bad as it seems. I really hope you enjoyed my first video. I want to give thanks to friends for being here and supporting the video. Thank you to H5 Jason Boston, Lemanoia, Sephiroth_0, Ghostified, Wanderer Main, and Nick_Nick9999. And hopefully I will find some more topics to talk about to make more videos. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. And thank you for watching.